Hello, I'm back. I was just on a live and I didn't end up publishing it because it was short-lived, and the woman that I was speaking to, I think she got cut off. I think it was her and not me, because this is still working. So we're just going to continue to move and groove. Now I'm just going to play around with this and see where we go. Live video has always been where my magic is. Video has been where my magic is, because this is how I can really connect to you as my audience, as my community, and really be able to engage, especially through live video. And I find when I do live video, when you engage, or when you want to hop on and have a chat, that's where the real magic happens. Hello Miguel, I hope you're well, sending you love. That's where the real magic happens, is through the engagement, because as I speak, comments come flying in, you can ask me questions, sharing what you're thinking, and then I respond to it. Being a 5-1 reflector in the human design, I really respond to the energies and the connection in that sense. So live video is really where it's at, and I felt called to go live on Instagram tonight. So we're going to see how it goes and where it goes. I haven't necessarily got a subject. I was on a live video before, and I was talking to Courtney and she requested to join, so I accepted. Hello Dano, I hope you're well. So we was talking and then she got cut off. So yeah, first off, the first idea, should we say, that came through to talk about was the belief in oneself. And Dano, if you do have any questions and if you want me to touch upon something in particular, please pop it in the comments, because I'm happy to talk about whatever you want to talk about. So if you've got any questions for me, if something's happening in your life right now that you're looking for guidance on, or you'd like my insight or whatever, please pop it in the chat. Anything's welcome here. I'm here to serve. I'm here to support. So please do. Other than that, I'm just going to flow and I'm just going to chat for a little bit and see where it goes, really. So let's start on the topic, on the subject of belief. Because unless we truly believe in ourselves and our capabilities to be able to create what it is that we want, what it is that we see in our mind's eye and that we feel in our heart, we're not going to be able to do it. Because what happens is, if we don't believe in ourselves, we're going to be looking outside of us for either validation or permission or external evidence to prove why we shouldn't believe in ourselves to be able to create what it is that we desire. And typically that external evidence is going to be from our immediate environment of the people that we have been circulating in the field of, because of where we've been born and the choices that we've made and the frequency that we've been vibrating on, because of no fault of our own as a human. As a soul, yes, we knew, because of the lessons that we needed to learn to grow and ascend. However, as the human that we are, we get to go through all of this and traverse and work it out, and then go through our spiritual awakening and all of that stuff to really work out that everything's simply a mirror from our internal reality that reflects out to our external reality. So if we don't believe in ourselves, and if we don't believe in our capability to be able to... Hello Baldini, I hope you're well. If we don't believe in ourselves, and if we don't believe in our capability to be able to create what it is that we see in our mind's eye and feel in our heart, then guess what's going to happen? We're not going to do it, because that belief isn't there. It really does start with belief. There's that famous saying, believe in yourself and you're halfway there. Because it really doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It doesn't matter about their stories. It doesn't matter about their opinions and where they're coming from, because that's them. That's their world. It's not our world. And it's really important that we remember that, because as much as we all live on the same planet, as much as we all live in the same world, where a planet of 8 billion different people with 8 billion different stories and 8 billion different perceptions, which means there's 8 billion different projections, and it's our mind that actually creates our reality. So depending on the stories that we tell ourselves based on the beliefs that we have is essentially what we are going to create in our lives. So if we don't believe in ourselves, then we're not going to get what it is that we want. So it's really important that we first come to clarity of, okay, well, what do I want out of life? Which is what very many people don't have, because they're following a trajectory in which they've been told is the right way. They've been told this is the way to success. This is what you need to do. And the standard, what is that? Go to school, go to college, go to university, get a good job, find a partner, get married, have kids, buy a house, go on vacation once or twice a year, and then retire at age whatever the fuck. That is the standard that we've been given. However, if we really look and zoom out and look at everything for what it is, how many people are happy in that dynamic? Not very many people. If we really, really get to the crux of it, yeah, they might be comfortable. Yeah, they might have a nice life. Yeah, cool. However, are they really happy? Are they really doing what they want to do? Are they in safe relationships? Are they in healthy relationships? Do they know how to effectively express themselves? Are they fully expressed? Are they living a life that's really true to them and what it is that they want, need and desire and require in their life? Most of the time, no. Hello, Dano, again. I hope you're well. So it's really important that we take the time and we give ourselves space to really come to clarity of, okay, well, how do I want to live my life? What does that look like? And what does that feel like, most importantly? How do I wake up every day? What do my days look like? And what is that going to require of me to make that happen? Because it's not just going to fall on my lap. It's going to require a level of work, and not necessarily the level of work of do like we've been taught. No, it's a level of work as to being. We're called human beings, right? So the way in which we create the life it is that we desire is by becoming, become, is becoming the person that we need to be for that next level version, yeah? And we're not going to become that person unless we believe in ourselves. So it's really important that when we start this journey of conscious life creation, of creating everything it is that we desire in ourselves and our lives, that we believe in ourselves, because that's where it starts. Believe in yourself and you're halfway there, yeah? So, yeah. Dano, you're back. Have you got any questions or anything that you want to talk about? And I'm going to think about anything else that comes up, because that's literally where my journey started. So if you don't really know anything about my journey, I'll give you a bit of an insight. My journey, my conscious life creation journey has been 8 years long this year, 8 years short. It feels like it's just getting started. And when I started my journey, I was at my rock bottom in all of the ways. I was depressed, I was anxious, I was unfulfilled. I was in various different toxic relationships, unhealthy relationships. I was toxic, I was unhealthy, I was judgmental. I would binge drink on alcohol, obviously, and binge take drugs. I'd start on a Friday, not finish until the Monday. And my communication was really bad. And it was a shit show. It was a shit show. I really wasn't in a great space. I was in debt. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was a corporate slave working for a bank. And I thought I had it made because I had my own flat and my own car and a really good job. However, I was I was chronically unhappy, and I would go on vacations to escape my life. Vacations, it's to escape your life, right? And I was wishing away my life for the weekends. It was a shit show. And the reason that my conscious life creation journey started was because I needed more money and I wanted freedom. I was 25 and a half at the time, and I didn't like working a 9-to-5 job. I didn't like asking for permission to live my life. I didn't like asking for permission to go to the doctor or to go on holiday or to go to my nan's funeral and to be made to feel bad because I had to fly to another country to go to my nan's funeral and all of this stuff, right? So I started my journey solely for the money because the money would give me freedom. And then throughout the journey, I realized that it's so much more than money because of the deep personal and spiritual journey that building my online business put me on the path of. It's so much more than money because as we really start to transform ourselves, our internal reality, our external reality reflects, as within, so without. It is on earth as it is in heaven. It's all written in the scripture. The issue is when people are reading scripture, whatever scripture you're reading, whether it be the Bible, the Quran, whatever it may be, whatever you connect to, they're reading it in metaphors, yeah? So the Bible specifically, I don't really know much about the Quran, but the Bible specifically writes in metaphors, writes in things, writes in people, writes in situations. However, that's one level that you can read it on. That's a 3D level of consciousness. And if you really want to become an alchemist in your life and create what it is that you desire, it's all about looking and reading between the lines and going deeper into that. And that's really been the journey that I've been on. And really recently, over the last 6 months, maybe a year, it's been made clear to me about the level of consciousness in reading the scripture. I personally started my journey. I used to be atheist, and then I was agnostic, and then I was introduced to the laws of the universe, and that's how my spiritual journey started. Because religion, there you go, religion's crossed out. I wasn't really into religion because of the control that religion has, and this is why religion is created, is to control the masses and the populace, and to think that God is outside of them and that they need permission to get to God, when no, God is actually inside of you. And when you read the Bible from that perspective of it's all within, and you read between the lines, you actually see that the Bible speaks about metaphysics, which is internal, which is mind, which is controlling your internal landscape. And as you learn how to do that and do the internal alchemical work and work from the different energies of your brain, you've got the right side of your brain, which is the logistical masculine side of your brain, and also the left side of your brain, which is the feminine like intuitive side of the brain, right? And then learning how to connect to your soul in various different ways. It's all explained in the Bible, but in metaphors. So many people are reading these metaphors as if it's that person, it's this, and it's this 3D thing. And no, it's all internal, honey. It's all internal. Everything is internal, right? And I learned all of this before I knew about that. So I learned all of this through the laws of the universe. And when I was introduced to the laws of the universe, I said to myself, okay, so let's play with this, because I love to play. I'm very serious. I'm very serious about the mission, about what it is that I'm doing, about what it is that I'm creating. I'm very fucking serious, because this is big work. Hello, Dylan. I hope you're well. I'm sending you love. This is big work that we're doing, right? We're changing we're changing first and foremost our lives and our future. We're alchemizing and crystallizing the waters within so that reflects without, right? And then when we do that, and when we get in a position where we can lead ourselves, then we start to lead our soul tribe, and then that just ripples, that ripples. We learn, and then we teach, they learn, they teach, and we all support each other. It's the people rising, right? It's the people taking back self-leadership. So I'm very, very, very serious about this work, but at the same time, I don't take myself or life too seriously, because it's all just a fucking game. So let's just play and have fun and laugh while we're at it, because, I mean, I'd rather laugh than cry, right? So I learned about the laws of the universe, the law of attraction and the law of vibration first and foremost. And I said to myself, okay, let's play. So I know the law of gravity is here, because it's been proven in science. You know, you fucking drop a pen and it drops, right? That's the law of gravity at play. You can't feel it, you can't see it unless you actually drop it, right? You can experience it, yeah? So when it comes to the law of vibration, the law of attraction, the law of attraction was the first one I learned, and then I learned the law of vibration. When it comes to that, I was like, all right, okay, so like attracts like. What you give, you receive. And you don't necessarily receive it from the same person. But for instance, if you're going to walk past someone and smile, yeah, you'll normally receive that back from people. Unless they're moody as fuck and they just need to lighten up. But most of the time, they'll smile back, yeah? So I started playing with it in small ways. And then I learned about the law of vibration, small ways in the sense of smiling. I used to travel on the tube, the train, so you can imagine how very miserable people are and how robotic they are, because they're going to jobs that they don't like. And I'd be like, hi, how are you? And this was when I had bright pink hair as well, so you imagine there's this hi with this bright pink hair, and people were either like or they were like, oh, hi. So I started to notice the shift in that, in my shift with people. And then when I learned about the law of vibration, which is linked to our energy, which is linked to our emotions, then I really started to work on that. And then I went deeper into the rabbit hole of the law of cause and effect and all of that stuff. And then ultimately deeper into that rabbit hole of the shadow and the darkness that we hold within, right? Now, we are souls having a human experience, and the beautiful thing about that is that we are limitless, and we are connected to source power. We are connected to the creator. We are connected to God, however you want to connect to it, right? We're simply a fractal. So we're not as almighty and powerful as in click fingers and it's done like the creator is. However, because we're connected to that energy, when we connect to it with intention and with believing yourself and you're halfway there, and faith and trust and following the intuitive guidance and investing in ourselves and doing the things and looking after ourselves, mind, body and soul. And this is why they're targeting us through our health. This is why they're poisoning our food. This is why they're poisoning our water. Because when our body is compromised, our gut is our second brain. When our body is compromised and we're eating shit, then that's ultimately going to feed to our mind, because our gut is linked to our mind, and then our mental health's fucked, and then it's just no good. It's just no good. So I started to learn all of these various different aspects, and there's so many things to the rabbit hole, and this is a marathon, it's not a race, right? So you're uncovering layers and layers to uncover the ego, to shed the ego, to let go of certain things, because at first the ego's like, what? No? Don't tell me that. So it takes time for self-reflection, and it takes time to really research and experience certain things and see things from a more of a bird's eye view perspective, rather than in the whirlwind of emotions and all of that stuff. So this is why it's really important that we give ourselves space to reflect and to really think about things, and cut out all distractions like the phone, the computer, the TV. Stop watching the news, stop plugging into all of that shit, and just sitting with ourselves in nature, journaling, all of that stuff, to really become clear on our internal voice, right? Because what these distractions are there for is to muddy our intuitive guidance. We all have intuitive guidance. I can plug into something and it can say meh, meh, meh about whatever's going on in the world, and I'll be like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. And I don't even need to really research much, because my intuitive guidance says, I'm with that. And I trust myself that much now because of how deep I've gone into myself to get to know myself. So I started to play with all of this, and I started to really alchemize internally off of the back of learning about the laws of the universe, as within, so without, like attracts like. Okay, well, if I want a freedom life, I have to create freedom internally. If I want happiness, I have to be happy. And it's all a choice, right? We can either choose to struggle or choose to thrive. And when we choose to thrive, that means making harder choices. But through making the harder choices, we ultimately get to live an easier life. Whereas if we choose to continue to make the easy choices, we live a hard life. We live a life of struggle. And what are easy choices? Going through the motions, having a job, wishing your life away for a vacation, for the weekend, going to alcohol when you're pissed off, or any other narcotic that you want to put in your body because you can't deal with your emotions. That's the easy way. Whereas the hard way is starting your own business, taking control over your life, going to the gym, eating healthy food, reading the books, learning things, not going to the party because you're investing in yourself. And what was the other bit that I said that I didn't want to leave out? Fucking hell, there was something there as well that correlated with the easy stuff. I've lost that trail of thought. But essentially, those are the hard things that end up leading to an easy life. Because when we invest in ourselves, life rewards us. Like attracts like. You get back what you give. So what you give to yourself, the universe is just going to give it back to you, the same as what you give to other people. And this is why I share what I do, because there's enough for everyone. This is why I'm so passionate about sharing the truth with you, the truth of your power, the truth of what you're actually capable of, because we've been trained in a way to not believe in ourselves. We've been trained in a way to think that success is linear, when success is not linear. There's 8 billion different ways to succeed, right? So it's really, really important that we learn about ourselves, which has been a huge part of my journey, is really learning about myself and firstly humans, because as different as we all are, we're all fundamentally the same in the sense that we're all humans. And what do I mean by that? We all have a mind, we all have a body, we all have a soul. So if we're looking after our mind and our body, that's when we can really connect to our soul, which allows us to really connect to source power, which means that we can really become the creator of our reality. And these are the hard things, yeah? That's what I forgot. Feeling the feelings. That the hard thing is not going to the alcohol, not going to the drug because of the temptations that's there, because it wants to distract us from the feelings. The hard thing is not going for that and actually sitting with ourselves and reflecting on, okay, well, what am I feeling right now? What's going on? Where do I feel unloved, unworthy, unsafe? And all of those, undash, whatever. And where do I get to alchemize that and reparent myself, right? And that is painful and it's confronting. And it's also painful and confronting admitting where we've been unhealthy and toxic as well. Because most of the time we want to be like, it's your fault, you did this, you made this. Where's that coming from? Because that's not coming from your higher self. Because your higher self takes full ownership and accountability. That's coming from your child. Save me. The only person that's going to save you is you. No one else is going to save you but you. And the way that you save yourself is by reparenting yourself, is by sitting with yourself and giving yourself what you need in that moment, rather than and passing the buck and the blame. No, it's you. Life is responding to you. People are responding to you. As within, so without. It is on earth as it is in heaven. And heaven is internal. Yeah? And also hell is internal. So if you create your own heaven on earth internally, you create it externally. If hell on earth is within, as in all of these thoughts and negative things, then you're going to create that externally, because life and people simply respond to you. It's all you, baby. It's all you. So if you don't feel loved, if you don't feel respected, if you don't feel safe, if you're not experiencing wealth, you've not created that and cultivated that within you. You need to do it within, as within, so without. It's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. And this has been my journey since I started. Hello, Chef Liam. I hope you're well. Sending you love. Since I started, by learning the laws of the universe and learning how the universe works, I've been like, okay, let's play with this. What do I need to do? Where do I need to take ownership and accountability? And also, where do I need to take responsibility to shift things in the way that I'm choosing to be and do? Because it's not life, it's not them, it's all me. It's all me. And that's how I've been able to create everything it is that I have. Partnering with a business model that allowed me to build a business around my personal brand by linking with long-standing reputable products that share clean living drinking water in a model that gave me training, all of the systems, all of the resources. That was my vehicle to creating freedom. That's what started me on that journey, yeah? And then through me getting started and going through all of the personal and spiritual growth, that's essentially mixing that with everything that I learned and did on the inside. That was the answer to my prayers that I didn't even know I had back then, if I'm honest. I was clearly asking for it, otherwise I wouldn't have been presented with the advert that said, "Are you looking to radically transform your financial future?" It's like, fuck yes. And then I jumped right in. I didn't even know what the fuck I was getting myself in for. I had no idea. The industry was so different back then. So different. There's so much more transparency, should we say, with everything. Because of how different life is these days and how different people are these days. So I jumped in. I didn't even know what the fuck I was getting involved in. And ultimately it was for me, because I'm still here. And I've been living a life I once dreamed of for 5 years now. It's been 5 years. It's crazy. And I've had the freedom to be able to really go deep into my own spiritual and personal healing to become the woman that I am today. When I first got to Bali, I was still a girl and I still had so many lessons to go through in my own personal life and also in my business when it comes to leadership and coaching. And I'm nowhere near done, because every level there's a new devil, and I'm continually learning and continually growing. I'm a forever student, and this is what keeps us alive, is that continual forward movement and growth, right? And I feel like I'm done for this transmission today. It's 10:30 here and I'm starting to get tired. However, I love you and I'm grateful that you're here and that you've been listening. And if you desire to learn more from me, and if you desire to walk the path of conscious life creation, then I've got you. I've created an educational platform that has everything that you need in it to be able to not only build a successful online business based around your personal brand that doesn't necessarily need to be a face brand. You can create a faceless brand if that's what you desire. It also gives you the personal and the spiritual coaching, so you can go on the same internal journey that I've been on in your own unique way, because it's different for everyone. We've all got our own programming, we've all got our own stories, we've all got our own trauma. And what's really important is that we unlearn to relearn, and is that we let go of the things that we're holding on to that are holding us down, that are keeping us stuck, that are keeping us in the struggle, because we don't want that, right? You became the person that you are now to survive. And to become a person that thrives in the way that you desire to, it's very important that you become a different person to be able to thrive in the way that you desire. And that requires shifting, and it requires a lot of letting go of the ways in which you've been being that doesn't serve you, as well as the ways in which you've been doing that also don't serve you, as well as various different things in your life, whether that be people or environments, whatever that may be, right? It's insanity to think that you're going to get different results by doing and being the same thing. The change starts with you. And should you feel like I'm a teacher that speaks your language, should you feel like I'm someone that can support your rise, then I'm here. I've created the educational platform, the Growth Shift membership. It's there for you to join. You can comment membership below to get the link to join. And if you desire to learn more about the online business and the model for free, you can comment Wealth Alchemy, all one word, no space, below, and I'll send you the link to register for that. And if you're wondering how much the membership is, it's £111 per month. You can cancel it any time, and should you refer anyone to the membership, then you get 33% affiliate commissions as well, because we get to rise together, right? We get to share the good message, we get to share the good teachings, and we all get to support one another. So yeah, that's me. I'm off, I'm out, and I love you. Thank you so much for being here. If you found value in this, please share this and tag me in your stories, or tag anyone below in the comments, and I will see you next time.